Senator Terán, you're next up.
Madam President, I rise in support of this motion to suspend the Senate Rules 21-8A-B and notwithstanding Senate Rule 16, that SB 1546 be placed in order of business, third reading of bills. And we demanded or asked for it immediately, Madam President, and comments on that.
Please.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I have been choked up since last week here on the floor. Frankly, I've been wanting to push this button since a week ago when we heard about this mass shooting. I wanted to push it after we prayed because I wanted to ask everybody what we were gonna do. I wanted to push it last week when we spoke on the floor about what had happened, and I just couldn't. I was so choked up. As a mother, I am just so heartbroken for the families who lost their children in Uvalde and for the entire community that will grieve this moment. I see those children, these kids, they look like my son, they look like my constituents, they look like the people in Douglas where I grew up, the teachers too, they look like my sister. And as a legislator, I'm just enraged. And to hear all over this country how people are so out of touch with the issue at hand, and it's just frustrated beyond words. And here in Arizona, of course, our governor tweets our thoughts and prayers and has put in the past, has signed in the past pieces of legislation protecting guns instead of children. We've signed bills that makes this state a Second Amendment sanctuary state. What about making this state a sanctuary for our children? We all know why. Because the NRA is very present in this state. When I sat down on the floor the day after the shooting, and our caucus came ready to work across the aisle and figure out something out to address gun control in this state, we had to sit here and listen to the majority party call for arming of teachers and here blame the shooting and attack and blame the shooting on the lack of religion and on transgender children. We heard the majority party the majority party call for arming of teachers, and we heard blame of shootings on the lack of religion and transgender children.
Excuse me, I have a point of order from whom? Senator Borelli.
Thank you, Madam President. Point of order, we could stick to the bill. This is about gun show legislation.
I'm explaining, Madam
background
President.
checks.
Yeah. Madam President, if I may. I am
Yes.
giving my reasons why I believe that this motion is necessary. And I am talking about what happened last week to make the case of why we need to go and take this vote immediately. Thank you, Madam President. So we have spent years demonizing our teachers and leading parents to believe that they can't be trusted. Now, we expect our teachers to take up arms and add security guards to their job description. This is not the way forward. We have learned that Uvalde officers stood while parents begged for them to do something because they were scared for their own safety. That's the reality. But we have to think, what if police officers are scared of an AR-15? Why should anybody be legally allowed to own one? A poll just came out showing that 88% of Americans support expanded background checks so that dangerous people can't just go to a gun show and buy a gun without being checked. And our job as legislators is to listen to people, not the NRA. The United States is the only country where mass shootings like this happen routinely, and I have not heard a single person from the majority party to be able to tell us why. Other countries look at us with astonishment and wonder how in the world nothing is being done. It is, frankly, very shameful to see that in this state that claims to be so pro-life yet refuses to act on this. Honestly, I've been glued to the TV, and I have been glued to the phone, and my husband just asked me to stop reading the news, but I can't stop. I can't stop because I want to hear the stories of these kids, of Usaya, of Elaine, of Irma, of Eva, of Lexi. 19 kids and 2 teachers, all the people in Buffalo and in California. And the reason I can't stop, it was brought to, like, I told a mentor, like, this is happening, I can't stop. And she reminded me, you're probably doing it because you're the ones you are closer to a solution than most of us. And we are. We, as a body of 90 people, are closer to the solution. It's not a body of 31 people. It's not a body of 16 people. It's a body of 90 people. The ask here is to vote on common sense legislation. If this is not it, what is it? Let's come to the table. Let's work together. I know we can. And this is a very complex issue. And I know that what is in front of us is not the only solution. But it might be common sense gun reform. It might be mental care and everything in between. But we have to remember, if we just talking about gun control, just talking about common gun sense reform, I want to just remind everybody that, like I said earlier, 88%, 89% of people in America support requiring background checks for all gun owners. 74% support the so-called red flag law, which would allow the police officers or family members to petition a judge to remove guns from a person that might be at risk. And there is a lot more polling that supports this. So members, the ask here today is like, let's vote on this bill. Let's start moving on solutions that can help keep our families safe. And we know that if something like this moves forward, the effects of legislation like this will take years to see the benefits. But we need to start somewhere because we cannot have the next shooting be nowhere. It should not happen again. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator.